Welcome to Mickey and My Craft. This is Hilda, your host. Today we're going to have a tutorial in the point of view of the Eyesight challenge. How to start. We're going to start the Teapot, which was the second winner of the autumn contest, of the contest of choosing for autumn and winter. So this one we're gonna start it today, and this one is gonna be the second part of the same video. It's gonna be continuing this video for the half stitch. Okay, when you get this, let's open it up and get everything. You're gonna get the chart with the full stitch, all the numbers have the DMC code and the symbols of the chart. Now, the symbols of the chart are not to be confused with the symbols on the fabric. Okay, this one is gonna have a lot of backstitch, but backstitch is not done until you wash the cloth. Why? Because the back stitch is more of a loose stitch. It's not as tight as the cross stitch. So if you watch it, and also the fabric tends to stretch a little bit with the washing. If you stretch it or you didn't do that back stitch correctly, it's gonna look terrible. So that's why the chart has you where you're gonna do the back stitch. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is, you're gonna receive the thread in these cartons. Okay, and you're gonna receive it along with your 2 needles, which you're gonna take it out now because I have a small thing for the needles to keep my 14 count needles. I have one for the 11 counts. So I'm gonna put them in because they're gonna be used anyway. However, you're gonna receive it today. I'm gonna have to work from the carton because all the kitting up places that I have, they're already full until I don't finish one, and this one has 50 colors. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, what I use to kit up. Let's talk about that. This one has 30, but there is one that comes with 50. Okay, you put the numbers and they're right there. You don't have to do anything else. The only thing else that you have to do is to put the thread on each of the space to the corresponding number from the carton. Like number 1 is gonna be on the number 1 space. Okay, but this is for the 3 dogs that I'm doing. And what I did is I pick out all the 14 count needles, right? Because this is a 14 counts. And some of you might have a strong hand, and some of you might tend to bend the needle. So I decided to level the strength of the needle. I mean, not to have all the time the same needle using it until it breaks, and then I come to the next one. So what I did is I put one needle in each color. So every time that I use a color, I use that needle for that color. In that case, all the threads goes in there. So you're gonna tell me, so how you know where you at? Well, I know where I am by that pinhead that I have over here. So right now I'm doing color number 21. Okay, that's the color that I'm doing on the on the dog. So where is the thread at? Well, I put the thread in a little case I have like this. They sell them on Amazon in a pack of 40. I think there's 3 or 4 sizes. Okay, and one of them is this small one, which is good for needles. Okay, for the 11 count and the 14 count. So this is what I use to key up, and I have 230s and 250s, so, and they're all filled up. So I cannot use it. Okay, so but this is very important. We're gonna explain you about this number in the carton. Okay, then you're gonna open your fabric. When you open your fabric, this is the way it is. Okay, you're gonna have all this and all these symbols and blah blah blah. Okay, so the fabric is a little stiff, so one thing that I recommend you is to do this. Okay, I usually do it like a couple of times. I stretch it out, right? And then on the other side, I turn it around, right? And then I do the same thing. And that have neuropathy on my hand, so it's not that hard to do it. So, and it softens the fabric a little bit. That's another tip. Now, the numbers that you have over here, right, corresponds to the numbers at the bottom, right? You cannot and those numbers has a symbol, which are in the fabric. Let me get you close. Those numbers, like number 2 is this one, number 2. So every time you see this, that's number 2, which is telling you right here, right? You're seeing it right there. And if you see it in any other place, number 2, because sometimes they don't repeat the number. Okay, like for example, over here, you got number 50 here, right? But you don't have it over here. So, but you know that 50, right, is this color. Let me, you know that 50 is that color, which is a 5200, the white. So every time that you see that symbol, you're gonna assume you're gonna cross stitch, you're gonna cross stitch that color. Okay, so but you cannot confuse, right, these symbols that you have over here with the ones in the chart. Okay, some people go by the fabric. I got used to it, okay, because the symbols are clear, and the colors of the symbols are very clear. If they were faded like it is in the eagle, then I have to use the chart. So the symbols in the chart, right, we were talking about number 2. Over here, number 2, which is the number 2 that you have over here, right? Number 2 over here, the symbol is a 2 in this case. So you look in the chart, and here are number 2, your symbols. But you gotta use either one of them. You cannot use both at the same time because you might get confused. I myself, I used to do it on the chart before, but I'm getting used to it because they come very clear. And another thing is, if you have any doubt, right, then I use the chart if I have any doubts. Okay, that's what I use the chart. Now, for those of us that have Eyesight challenge, something that I discovered while doing the 3 dots is you do the light color first, right? And then you do the dark color, because sometimes you have like a light color. Let me see what number is the orange. 31. Well, 31 over here is a very clear one. And number 2 is a dark one, right? Okay. So you got number 2 over here, and you got 31. Number 2 is a darker color. 31 is a lighter color. Right? So I'd rather start with the 31. In this case, 31 happens to have a lot, because this is what you're going to find. First of all, these fabrics are saturated with ink, but this ink will go away. And another thing is, you don't you try to avoid to get the fabric wet, because otherwise the stamp part is going to go away. This is ink, but this is ink that it goes away with water or anything liquid. So as you can see over here, they are very well saturated, including inside the hole. It's hard for me to show you inside the hole. Let's see if it goes away. But anyway, they are very well saturated. And over here you have the perfect sample of a darker color and a light color, one beside each other. Okay? So when you do come on. Okay. When you do the darker color first, and you're gonna come and do the light color, even during daytime, I'm talking about for the people who have eyesight challenges, because I have cataracts, okay? And I'm working on the 3 dogs, and I'm doing the dog that is black. The dog that is black has about 3 different type of gray color, and they have and they have the 310, which is the black, because these numbers over here are the DMC code. Okay, so this one is one that you have a dark color besides a light one. Okay, if you start with the light one, when it's time for you to put that, and if you can see over here, let me use my pointer. And I'm explaining this mostly for a friend and all of you that might think about this. And you have this one that is the dark color. We already saw that number 2, right? This is number 2, and this is 31. Okay, 31 is lighter than number 2. So you have these 2 close to each other. Okay, you got the dark one and you got the light one. When you do the light one first, it's gonna be easier for you when it's time for you to do this stitch, to insert the needle, find the hole, insert the needle to do the stitch. Okay, if it's the other way around and you have too many dark colors around it, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble in finding the eyes. Again, this is for people with eyesight challenges, okay? Especially the boomers like me. So I discovered that I go faster. Well, I haven't finished the section of the dog, but I discovered, because I have pending 2 other stuff, and I discovered big cross stitching when I'm fascinated. But And also, it helps you to even go faster to finish the colors. Another thing is, when you see this number, you cross stitch on top of that number of the color. In this case, number 31. Okay, the lighter color. So, once I explain that, the thing that I'm going to look for is which colors are the lightest. Okay, so we already established that number 31 is the lightest. And then we got 50, which is all these greens. Okay, and the orange one, which is 31, they both are light. So you have a great advantage over here. You can start with 31 or you can start with 50. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with number 50. Okay? So because over here, I'm going to show you how you treat all this. Okay? When you are doing the cross stitch, we're gonna do a little bit of cross stitching here. Okay, so before we start, we're gonna pick out number 50, right? And we're gonna do that. So what I do is I got this over here. Let me put it the other way. They still have a little bit of glue. Anyway, I usually, like I said, I usually keep this up. I don't work from these cartons. I hate that, honestly. I hate it. I keep them up. You don't have to use that item that I just showed you. You can use envelopes and then mark with the number 1, 2, 3. And if you're planning to save some thread in the future, you can then put the DMC code on it. So we're gonna pick up one of this because I'm gonna show you the loop method. Okay, so we have this one strand. So this is one strand that has 6 strands inside, 6 threads, or one thread that has 6 strands. However you want to put it, tomato, I don't care. So the package over here tells you how you pull this strand. Okay, the thread is divided into 6 strands, so that means that this is a thread and you have 6 strands inside, to go by the language. So you're gonna divide this. Okay, here is a trick that hasn't failed for me yet, and I'm gonna do it on this blank mat. First of all, if you find the thread too long, please don't cut it in half. I mean, it's not gonna last you too much on doing cross stitch, and you're gonna waste strands. Okay, don't cut it. That's what I'm showing you, the loop method. Okay, but first let's see how you get a strand out of this. Okay, I'm gonna try to show you. So you pick up one of the ends, right, and you with your finger and your nail, if you don't have no nail, well, you're just gonna have to massage the strand. Okay, so you're gonna do this. This is for the 14 count because you only need 2 strands for the 14 counts. But to do the loop method, you're gonna use only 1 strand, and I'm gonna show you. You don't have to cut the thread. It's gonna be a little bit shorter, and it's gonna be faster for you. Okay, so You're gonna keep on massaging about 1 inch, right? Until the strands are very well separated. There is some fuzz on this strand. Okay. Okay. So I think that's enough. So you got it. So you're gonna pick out the strand, right, that is closer to your body. Here is 2 strands that are 2 together. Excuse me. So you're gonna pick out the strands. You're gonna pick the strand that is closer to your body, okay? Not this one. This one is farther away. You're gonna pick the one that is closer to you. And you're gonna start pulling. It's gonna form a little roll on it, but don't worry about it, okay? Don't overthink it, okay? And voila. It came out, the roll came out by itself. It does, for so far, so good for me. It hasn't failed me, okay? You wanna see it again? Let's do it again. Okay, when you are finished with that strand and you come back and doing it, you do the same thing. This time you're gonna have to do it less because it's already how you say it? It's already fan out. So you're gonna pick up the next one again, the next one close to your body. Don't mind this division, this dividing thread that is going on. You just pick up the whole one. So let's do it again. Here it is. Don't mind that. Don't worry about that. Whoops. You got it, right? I hope you do. So that's it. I'm gonna put this aside because we're not gonna use, we'll probably use these too. So you got your strand and you say, oh shit, it's too long and I don't want to work with 2 long strands. So here it is, a pickle. There is a loop method. The loop method is when you pick the strand, when you pull it out, what you're going to do is you're going to put the ends together. This is the whole strand. It's going to be long enough, right? It's gonna be long enough for you to sew, to do the cross stitch, but it's not gonna be as long as the other one. Let me show you as a reference. I don't know if I'll be able. This is the other one. Here it is. You see how long it is? The single one. I'm trying to put it over here. You see how long it is? So when you divide it, that strand in half, because for the loop method you need that, right? Again, you pick out the strand, right? You pick out the strand and then you put the ends together. I tend to cut that a little bit because that thing, I don't like it inside my needle. You put the ends together and it forms a 2 strand. Here it is. Which is what is needed for the 14 count. When you fold it in half, okay? And here is your loop. You fold it in half and here is your loop. Okay, so now, ooh, I forgot to pick up a needle. Okay, let's pick up a needle. And we're gonna use, in this case, you can use the threader, but not for beaded cross stitch, okay? This needle is way too big for those CDs, okay? And you can and in this case you can wet the thread and you just thread it, right? And then you pull, okay? So now I'm gonna put this away because now we're gonna start doing some stitching. I suggest also that you get either this or whatever you feel comfortable. I like this one because this is like a gladiator thing. So you're gonna grab your fabric. Okay, another thing is that I read is they don't recommend for you to use the hoops. Some people use the hoops. That's okay, that's fine. What you need to know is you need consistency in your stitch. So let's see how we're gonna do this, okay? And we're gonna start over here. And I'm gonna do an in and out method. I'm not gonna teach you right now the extra stitch because you know you should get familiar on the regular cross stitch first. But I do wanna show you the loop method, okay? Because it's easier, okay? So here it is. You got your first stitch of the collar. You can start here, you can start over here. But I wanted to start over here, okay? So for the loop method, you're gonna come down on the top right of that of that hole, right? And you're gonna leave the loop, but you're gonna leave a little bit, okay? You hold the loop, and then you're gonna come up on the bottom left. I'm sorry guys, it's just that I'm not used to do it this method. I'm used to do it here it is. Okay, you came in to the top, lift a little bit of loop, you hold the loop, you come down to the bottom left of that square. Oops, it came off. It came off because I'm not used to doing this. Let me put the light on it. Okay. I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer, but I'm not gonna. You can even leave it a little bit longer if you want to, but okay. You come up here, hold tight so it doesn't happen like it did to me. Now you're gonna pull a little bit because you don't need that much of the loop. Okay, you seen this? The loop is over here and you came up out of here. So you're gonna pass the needle through the loop. Okay, and you're gonna pull. Okay, once you pass the needle, it's okay. You don't have to grab the loop. And here it is. It did form a little teeny tiny knot. Once you do that, you're going to go down that same hole, right, where you did the knot. Go down there so you can hide the knot. Usually the knot hides even between the fabric, between the hole, and sometimes comes out in the back. But it's so tight. Sorry about that. The camera just finished it. Like I was saying, you have a tiny knot that is gonna hide right between the hole in there, or it's gonna come out on the back. Either way, it's a more decent knot than those big knots that some people do. Okay, once you do that and you pull in a nice way, you pull it to be snuggle, you're gonna come down this hole and trying to see where I am. You're gonna come down here, pull up, and you're gonna come down here. Okay? Then you can either go up or you can either go sideways, whichever you prefer. I like to go up. Okay, to go up, you cannot come out of that hole because the thread is gonna come out. So you come over here to the top right. Again, I'm not used to this. I used to do the extended stitch. You come out of here, right? And then you're gonna come inside there, inside that hole. Make sure you find it. Okay, that you don't puncture the fabric and go out of the hole. It has to be going inside the hole. And that's another one. You come out of the bottom right, go to the top left. Again, when you're gonna do this one, you don't come out of this one. I know it's a 1, 2, 3, and 4, but that's for you to, I call it the anatomy of the stitch, okay? Of the cross stitch in the fabric. But it's not the rule, okay? So you're gonna go in and you're gonna come out of here. On this one, right? Because if you come out of here back again just to follow the rule of 1, 2, 3, and 4, the thread is gonna come out, okay? Because you went in through that place. You pull, and then so to do this part of the X, right, which is from left to right, you have to come up on the top, go back in again. Okay? Now to do the other part of the X, you go from right to left. And you got another one. See? The important thing about these stitches is that all of them must be facing the same way. From here, from left to right, and then from right to left. Sounds familiar, right? For those of you that are doing beading cross stitch. But guess what? It's the same concept. The only thing is, because it's beaded, you only use half stitch, and the left to right is the main stitch, okay, in one row. So the most important thing is that all your stitches must be looking like this, nice and neat. So what do you do when you confront another color? Well, you don't break the thread and do another knot and do that one and then break it again. No, you go here, that's where you apply the rule, the one, you come up there on the bottom left and then go inside. I want to show you, and then go inside on the bottom right, on the top right, I'm sorry. Okay, that's the first part of the stitch. And here it is. The second part. Okay, and then you do the same thing over here. Let me do another one. Okay, something that I'm seeing over here. When you get up here, this is a judgment call. Let me use this. When you get up here, you might want to go up here, and then if you do the full stitch, and then you have to come down here. You might, kind of confused. But I do the extra stitch, so, and that's gonna be in another video that I'm gonna teach you. But in this case, let me see this wall. Okay, in this case, because you have another color over here, right? And in this case, I will do this stitch, then this one, this one, then this one, then this one, this one, this one, and come up all the way over here. Okay? By that time, you're done with the first thread. Okay? So I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna try to show you as close as possible, but it won't be that much close. And then when the thread finish, I'm gonna show you how to close with the loop. It's the same concept, okay? So I'm gonna be using my extra stitch method so I can get ahead, but we are so we don't take that long. We're gonna do that real quick, okay? I'm gonna do that real quick. Hold on just a second. Let me fix the camera. Okay, let's try this until the thread is finished. Let me see where I am. No, I'm in the wrong place. This is where I'm not supposed to be. Hold on, I put this needle in the wrong place. Just going back out. Okay, so, and you can grab this fabric any way you want, because the thing is you're gonna be washing this fabric when you finish before you do the back stitch, okay? So let's get started. I'm gonna have to do it this way. is it? Oh, that's neat. The thread got caught up in here, so it got caught up in here. You have to be careful on the back, always trying to feel the thread. You know, that's why you need the gladiator, so it won't. Yeah, I like to see them nice and neat. If you have any doubt, this is going to be on a premiere. You're free to post any questions down at the bottom part, okay? So now we're going to go back. I'm going to make sure that everything is okay, right? We're going to go this way. So now I'm going to be using the extended stitch, but I'm not going to explain it now. So just to advance a little bit. You can get an idea of what it is. What I mean with the extended stitch is that you position the needle to do the next stitch. That's what I meant. Just in case. Just practice the regular format, right? For your stitch. So what I'm gonna do is, now that you saw me do some stitches, I'm gonna get to the end of the thread, you know, when you need to change thread because you don't have no more, and back then I'll be back, okay? So I did all this, right? And here I'm to the end of my thread. I don't put it too long, but let me see, I think I can do an extra stitch over here, right? We're gonna do the loop now. Okay. So you are at the end of the thread, right? And you are going to change thread. You want to add brand new one, longer one, you know, the 1.5, the loop method. Okay, to close it is as simple as the loop method it is. You're gonna do your first stitch, right? I'm gonna come out you're gonna do the first stitch. Let me do it the way that I'm telling you to do it. You're gonna come out of the first stitch, right? You come up on either the top left or the bottom right. You're gonna come up. You're not gonna go in, right? You're gonna go in there, right? But you're gonna come back. You're gonna put the needle back in here. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way because it's easier for me, but well, let me do it that way so you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, you come back, but you're supposed to leave a little bit. Don't tie the stitch. you're gonna come back out, right? You did the other one, you're gonna come back out where you came from. You're gonna pull up and you're gonna go underneath. It's supposed to be a little loop, okay? You went through this one. You went through this one, right? You were doing the regular stitch, but you came out back over here, and you can always pull it up. You're gonna go through the thread, you're gonna pull it, and it's gonna create another little knot. And then you're gonna go back in, come to the back. Either the knot comes through the back, right, or not. And then you go underneath the thread a little bit, just to secure it. Okay. And then you cut. And throw away this. And you got your first stitches. Here they are. Nice and neat. You got your first stitches. Now you pick up, I'm going to show you again how to put the double thread, and I will show you the loop method to start again, but I won't continue it, okay? Because we got to go to the second part, how to do the half stitch. Hold on just a second. Again, remember that other thread that we pulled? So you pull the thread the way I showed you at the beginning of the video, right? But you want you don't want this long thread. So in order to do the loop, you need this thread doubled, which makes it shorter, okay, and creates a loop at the bottom part, which is the loop that you're gonna use. I'm gonna take the fuss out of this top. Okay, you thread the needle, you put the threader inside the needle, right? It still has a little fuss. Those little fuss sometimes don't let you enter the thread in the threader. Okay, you pull the thread, and then you're gonna pull the threader that has the thread. Okay, so and now again, let's do that loop method. I'm gonna protect my finger. Okay, so let's see. You want to continue, right? You know, you keep on holding the fabric like this, and it becomes softer through time, okay? So okay, so you fold the thread in half, right? You got the loop, and you're gonna continue, right? So you're gonna come through here, right? Remember? Let's leave enough loop so it don't comes out. You're gonna come out through the bottom left. Okay, I'm trying to see. You're gonna come out through the bottom left. Pull your needle with a thread, right? You're gonna pull a little bit because you don't need that big of a loop. You're gonna pass the needle through the loop, right? Okay, you're gonna come down through that same hole, okay? So you can hide the little knot that is in there. You're gonna come down, okay? You got the first part of the stitch. Then you come up. Whoops. Hold on. Then you come up through here, right? On the bottom right. And then come back down here. Then you cannot come through here to do this stitch because it's gonna take the thread back out. So you go to the top right, right? Okay, let me see, because I'm doing this through the viewfinder. And then you do the same. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there, right? If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Feel free to rewatch the video. Now, I'm gonna get ready because I'm gonna show you about the half stitch, okay? And but I'm gonna use another cross stitch, a stamp cross stitch, a cute one. So I'm gonna get the camera ready, but the most important thing is that all your stitches must be in the correct position, and they must be, hold on, I don't know why this thing goes like this. Anyway, you see they are all in the right position. And that you do that particular color of the thread. That you might have to jump around, but that's your judgment, because you want to try to save a little bit of thread, because I already noticed on the 3 dogs, they're giving you the exact amount of thread practically. Just a little bit is left over. Okay? So I'll be right back. I'm going to get ready. I already taught you how to pull the strand, and I'm gonna get the thread ready for the half stitch. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I got my thread ready, right, with the loop double, because it's 2 strand. You cannot do this with the 3 strand, okay? Just in case, you cannot do this. And the half stitch, like the word says, is half stitch. Let me show you what we're gonna work on. This is a cutie that we're gonna work on, and we're gonna work on this section over here, right? And since this is a lighter color, light enough, although it has a white one, in this case, you gotta study your picture. You gotta see what you want to do with your picture. It's not like you're gonna make a course out of it, but you know, or overthink it. But you gotta, you know, analyze a little bit your picture. And in this case, since it's so light, the thread, as you can see, I can do the half stitch all the way around first, and then start with the next lighter color. Okay, so that's the cutie we're gonna do. This is the symbol for the half stitch, is this one. Okay, and you gotta be careful with that symbol because it might get confused with the same, because number 5, if you look at it over here, number 5 also has a whole square color. So you have to be careful, right? And like I said, I just saw the picture, and over here, for example, you got this. You can get confused easily with this. So all you have to do, and in this case, you can even also follow the chart using this symbol. Okay, so we're gonna start the stitch over here, down here. Okay, and we're gonna continue up. Right, this time I'm gonna use the fastest method. I'm not gonna show you. Well, you can learn it by watching. It's just that you go down one hole and come out of the next hole where you need to do the stitch. Start the next stitch. But let's see how you do the half stitch with the loop method. Okay, so honestly, I don't know what's wrong with this camera today. Okay, so let's start. No, I'm gonna start over here. Okay, I'm looking to see. Okay, so that's part of the half stitch. So how you do the half stitch with the loop method? Well, you just do a half stitch. Half stitch is from 1 to 2, left to right. Okay, so here we go. You go and pull your loop as far as possible. You pass the needle through it with the thread. Once you do that, you don't need to hold the loop. It's gonna hold itself. You pull, right? You pull real tight so the knot is tight. Then you go back down that same hole, okay? So you might have to move the thread a little bit. Okay, for you to see the hole, but that's okay. You go down, and that's it. You still have the knot in there, so if you see the knot on the top, you just pull a little harder underneath. So that's it. That's what a half stitch is. So let's go to the next one. Next one, you're gonna start over here and it come over here. And by the way, Mickey's on the room. Okay, another half stitch. I'm sorry guys, but I'm trying to do this through the viewfinder. Come again, right? In my case, for the extended stitch and to do a line like this faster, what I do is I put the needle through the hole and come out of the next stitch I'm gonna do, which is the hole to the left, and that's it. But every symbol, the most important thing is every symbol must be done of that color. You cannot jump around or skip around, or you just find a way, the easiest way to do it, right? Like for example, we have that half stitch over here, so let's continue. I'm gonna try to see that you can see it. The only thing is, and we're gonna stop it after that, okay, because I don't want the video to be too long. If you have any question, either rewind the video, and over here I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go all the way down, and over here I'm coming back in, and then come back out to the next one, right? And keep on going. You find ways to do all the symbols, and if you have any doubt about the symbol, just like I said previously on the first part of this video, go to the short. Okay, so this is it. I'm gonna leave it over here. This video is gonna be on a premiere. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful week. Welcome to the all new subscriber. Remember to hug and kiss your fur baby from Mickey and I. And to all of you, much love and peace. Bye.